Yep, we have. If we do hour 30.
Hour 30. Okay, great.
Hour 30.
All right, let's clap.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap.
Great, great. And I forgot something. A list I was supposed to read. Hold on. Sorry. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Cancel. Phew. I put it wrong button.
Did that other thing save?
It only saves after we're done.
So, and will it do multiple sessions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, because I stopped and started again.
Great. Oh, please, Lord Jesus.
Sorry, I had this thing up and I forgot.
Oh, it's okay.
I closed it.
For the cold open.
Yep.
I figured.
All right, here I go. Hey everyone, Steven here. Come on. At the time of this recording, Writers Guild of America, SAG-AFTRA, both still on strike. 130 days, something, I think they've been on strike.
Wow.
And you know what that means? In solidarity, I don't write cold opens, and this is a tough one.
Man.
We've been talking about doing this movie that we're about to do since the preview episode of this podcast. I mentioned it.
Oh, man.
And I thought I'd have plenty of time, but then Paul Rubens died, and we couldn't not pivot to doing this movie. And me without the ability to do a cold open. So I can tell you what it would have been. It would have been a beautifully written ode to actors who, let's see if I can say this right, who had alter egos that became more famous than them. And so everybody thought they were their alter egos.
Okay.
So I have a list here.
Yeah.
Because greedy production companies refuse to meet the reasonable demands of writers and actors, I have to read a list. But I thought that's okay. Here's a list. Larry the Cable Guy.
Okay.
Nobody knows that guy's name. In fact, I think he's listed as Larry the Cable Guy in the credits of Cars as Mater.
Yeah, totally.
Not his name. Okay. Mr. Bean.
Is that not his name? Okay.
That's not his name. Mr. Bean. Nobody knows Mr. Probably a lot of British people know Rowan Atkinson, but Mr. Bean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Andrew Dice Clay. Not his real name. That's a character of his.
Yep.
The Marx Brothers. None of they have Marx Brothers names, but those aren't their real names or who they actually are.
Okay.
Ernest. Remember Ernest?
Ernest P. Worrell.
Yeah. Now, when he plays Slinky Dog, I don't think he's credited as Ernest P. Worrell. I think it's James Varner or something. Jim Varner.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Yep.
But as a kid, you just thought Ernest was Ernest, and he would show up on talk shows as Ernest, stuff like that. And then here's one on that were on a lot of these lists, Medea. So I think maybe at first people actually thought Medea was a person.
Okay.
And not Tyler Perry dressed up as a woman.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, a great character.
A great character, but I think at this point in history, everybody knows Medea is not an actual old lady, that's Tyler Perry. But I wonder, because she showed up on this list so often, if that's actually true of, if that's how it started. Anyway, that list is fun. Not as good as my cold open would have been. So go to wgacontract2023.org to learn more about the strikes and pray that this thing ends and I can go back to writing cold opens instead of reading lists. We're the Two Gomers. We're talking Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And this is Perfect Movie.
Welcome, everybody, to Perfect Movie, a podcast where two regular guys try to save the universe, one great film at a time. This is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, with my friend Steven, all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
No, that's not right. That's not quite right. Oh, that's good. I mean, okay, get ready, folks. Oh, that's great. Anthony's really good. And we used to work at Sitel, which was a internet, what would you call it? Like a AT&T customers, tech support service.
Yeah.
We were both awful at this job. We still have to record a full episode about this. But when Anthony would get real bored, which was a lot, and we'd be working in different cubicles. All of a sudden they hear so I mean, hopefully that is not what this episode will devolve into.
No, it definitely won't. But I mean, it's just one of the best things is how he just all the time he's just like
Yeah.
like, all the time.
And I would say one of the beauties of Pee-wee, and there are a lot, and I love this movie, and I, like I said in the cold open, I've been wanting to do this as a straight up perfect movie. This
Yep.
is not an indefensible. I
Right.
actually think this is a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a core movie for me.
Me too.
Absolute core.
And Pee-wee is a core character, and Paul Reubens is a core actor for me. So the sad thing is Paul Reubens died. We were gonna do Harry Potter.
Yep.
But we had to pivot because Paul Reubens died when, I guess it was in early August, maybe late July. And so we've done this before.
Was it in Oregon or I remember we texted each other.
Yeah,
no,
we texted. It was July. When I was in Denver when it happened. So that was late July. It happened.
Got it.
So we've done this before when Chadwick Boseman died, right? We did Black Panther.
Yep.
And this is a very different movie.
Right.
And we're going to have tons of fun in this. It's really sad that Paul Reubens died. My assumption is he would love that everybody is having a ton of fun with his movies.
Yeah.
Even after he died. And that is the main way that people are remembering him.
For sure. I mean, it is a story of he got, essentially in the early 90s canceled.
Yep. That's right.
But, he's now remembered not that way.
Yeah, there were a couple articles that I read about him that led with that. It was, or in the first couple paragraphs, like in 1991, he masturbated or whatever. Like, oh right. No, right. Sorry, I don't mean to like make light of it, but like, part of it is like, I think part of it was so offensive to people because Pee-wee is kind of an innocent.
Right, he's an innocent. He's asexual, and he's like geared I don't think he's actually geared towards children at all.
No, I don't either. And that's why I love him. No,
right.
He's not.
But Pee-wee's Playhouse, was, but also wasn't.
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely.
Is that kind of like The Simpsons?
So I have a long list. I think I'm going to keep it for the result show because we have a limited amount of time here of what wouldn't exist without Pee-wee.
Oh yeah, my favorite Batman wouldn't exist.
I cannot believe you just said that because I was going to try to blow your mind with it.
Oh dang it! Sorry.
No, I'm more happy than I am sad about this. But I was going to drop this one on you that I don't think Michael Keaton Batman would exist without Pee-wee Herman.
Totally. We would just be stuck with Mr. Mom, which I still love.
Yeah, right. I mean,
we wouldn't have Beetlejuice.
Right. No. I think that Tim Burton Batman changed the whole landscape of like summer blockbusters. Yeah. And that wouldn't have happened without this. I mean, this movie, these people that made this movie are maniacs, all of them.
They're maniacs. I have 4 pieces of evidence, dude. I can't.
Could I just finish a sentence I started like 15 minutes ago? The beauty of Pee-wee is that I think he doesn't have one voice.
Right.
He has like, and you could probably do them all. My favorite voice is, I'm a loner Dottie. Like his that deep one.
You don't want to be next to me, Dottie. You don't want to be by me, Dottie.
So good.
I'm a loner, Dottie.
So funny when he says that.
I know. Or like when he's talking to Francis and he's like, I like that memory. Like, when
I love that. No, he goes, I love that story.
I love that story. Yeah. But then there's pissed Pee-wee when he hits the curb. And he's like, I meant to do that. But he doesn't smile. He doesn't even laugh. He's actually embarrassed. I meant to do that.
He goes to Francis, good for you and your father.
Yeah.
That'd be my favorite line for some reason. Good for you and your father.
Yeah. Maybe maybe my favorite line recently though is it's actually from Big Top Pee-wee, which is not nearly
Oh.
as good.
Okay, and I've only seen once in my life.
Yep. Oh,
This
so
is
then
one
it won't
of
mean
these things that this original is so precious to me that
Yeah.
I give the sequels their due, but I never go back to them.
I watched Big Top Pee-wee because we were doing this, and I remember loving it as a kid.
Okay, yeah. How did it
Me and
hold
my
up?
sister watched both these.
Yeah.
It's just not the same, but the
Right.
character's funny.
Yeah,
But it's just,
Pee-wee's
I mean,
always funny.
it's Santa Claus versus Santa Claus 2. High production value, not as much
Oh,
heart.
interesting.
Well, actually, Santa Claus 2 is better than Big Top Pee-wee. Sorry,
I
but
love
it's
Santa Claus too.
right. I love Santa Claus 2, but it's like the thing where one was so. I mean, it's actually more like Bill and Ted's. It's like if Bill and Ted's had 1, 2 was fun, same characters. You get to spend 2 more hours with your best friends,
Right.
but and with a few things like Good Road About Us is,
Well,
that
I
guy's
think
butt,
I think that's actually the perfect one-to-one Bill and Ted,
that
because the
robot
problem
butt,
one of
whatever.
the problems with Bill and Ted 2 is they don't time travel very much.
Right.
And so the thing that is so awesome about Bill and Ted 1 is it's all about time travel, and then Bill and Ted 2 isn't. And you're like, what? So I
Right.
think Big Top Pee-wee for me was, where's his bike?
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll get to the evidence, but the simplest plot ever.
Yeah. I
Uh,
lost my bike.
yep, that's it. I mean, there's one of my pieces of evidence. I said it's so simple, it's almost stupid.
Well, it is stupid, and that's great.
Right. No, but like more high concept, and
Yeah.
Pee-wee is like a agricultural engineer, wants to win a Pulitzer Prize or a
Right.
whatever, not a Pulitzer Prize, whatever the big prize is for
Right.
discoveries.
What
did Oppenheimer get?
I know.
What do you get when you do something good?
What did President Bartlett win?
Nobel Peace Prize.
The Nobel Prize, right?
The Nobel Prize. Yeah.
Okay.
So he wants to win a Nobel Prize because he makes a tree that can make hot dogs.
Okay, that got me laughing.
I mean, that's pretty funny. No, but like not Dottie, sorry, Winnie makes him an egg salad sandwich.
Yeah.
It's like egg salad sandwich is like core memory for me because of Big Top Pee-wee.
Okay, wow.
And so
I'll have to watch it again.
Well, she's like, I made your favorite lunch, and he's like, la la la. It's like, no. It's like, da da. It's like, no. Like, I can't remember any of them.
Right.
And then she's like, egg salad, duh. And he's like, oh yeah, I love it. And so then when he takes a bite, he just goes, egg salady.
we say, and that's a Pee-wee's Playhouse thing. We say something E all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what it is. So it's just from the yeah, exactly. Yep. So my girls have zero knowledge of Pee-wee.
Interesting. Okay.
They don't even know who he is. I watched this by myself. Aaron, I don't think's ever seen it. I think this is a private core memory for me. I don't act like the way he acts. La 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 la. Like that is me at 8. That is freaking me at 8. Like just like
yeah. Yep.
It
kind of like the love for life.
Yeah, that's brushing your teeth.
Yeah,
weird,
doing like weird crap.
Like all making funny faces with tape. I mean, like
the tape face. That's good.
Me and my cousin Justin.
Yeah,
just Pee-wee Herman.
Okay, I have more to share about Pee-wee's influence on my life, which I think is different. Also, Pee-wee is a very corporate family thing for us in our household. Jessica has always loved Pee-wee, and we watched Pee-wee's Playhouse and this movie, and what I think is the best Pee-wee's Christmas Special.
Okay.
So many times with the boys, and they would ask for it all the time. So Pee-wee's pretty precious, and we all texted each other that day that he died, like genuinely sad.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, maybe I'll introduce them. It's so funny for Aaron.
Yeah.
Core memory, not allowed to watch this.
Well,
Like,
okay, we'll
too
get to that.
weird, too
Yep.
weird,
Too silly.
kinda too silly. I was a little boy, she was a little girl, not to be genderist, but this, like,
No,
for
but
me, this was
yeah.
core. For her family, this was like, we don't watch that.
Yep.
They're not. Yeah, I'm just saying.
No. It's
They
not
weren't
even
into
a.
it.
Okay, we'll get to this. Because I do want to talk about whether or not I was encouraged to watch Pee-wee as well.
Sure.
So let's do the one sheet.
Okay. By the
I'll
way,
read
I
the
don't have
back
a
of the
timer
box.
on this episode, so I have no clue.
Me neither, but we know when our hard out is, at least.
When did we start? We started this recording, just for me. We started at 2:25. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I think look.
we're 18 minutes in now.
All right, here's a little behind the scenes, everybody.
Behind the scenes for the listeners.
We have a hard out in an hour and 10 minutes. So a short movie, short ep.
Well, yeah, remember our buddy Shane was like, your perfect movie episode should never be longer than the movie.
Yeah, that's right. But we've broken that rule over and over again. But not today. Not today, Satan. So let's do one sheet.
All right. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, released on August 9th, 1985. 1985, a date or a year which will live in infamy for you and I, because to imagine could never be me. In the theaters right now is Back to the Future, Goonies, Police Academy 2, which, why was I watching that? I don't know. European Vacation, I was like a core movie for me. Why was I watching that? I love it still.
European Vacation.
Oh, dude, I freaking love that movie. I know.
Okay.
Summer Rental, which I kind of want to watch.
Summer Rental, is that John Candy?
Yeah.
I only remember this because of Blockbuster and the cover at Blockbuster. I've never seen Summer Rental.
Yeah, I think this might, we're talking about grown up 80s.
Yeah.
It looks like a combo of Great Outdoors except a little younger, and Money Pit.
Okay.
Where like he's a corporate exec, and I watched the trailer and I was like, I really want to watch this.
Okay,
I'm sure it's terrible.
That is there's a long list of those kinds of, I've seen the cover but I've never seen the movie, and Summer Rental is definitely on that list.
Okay. Rambo First Blood Part 2, never saw it. Rocky 4, The Color Purple, Out of Africa, and Cocoon.
So here's the thing about 1985. I was 7.
Yep.
I didn't see any of these in the theater.
Did you?
Not even Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yep, I'm sure I didn't see that. This is all VHS to me. All of this. Although
there is not one movie on this list that I saw in the theater until Back to the Future, like in 2015 when it was re-released. Right?
Okay, so we didn't see Back to the Future in the theaters?
It was, I remember it as the first VHS I ever watched on our VCR.
Okay.
But I did not see it in the movie theater, no.
Okay. I'm sure I didn't either, and if I did, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's kind of a specialness to the fact that so many VHS sleepovers are on this list. 1985. That's a VHS sleepover sweet spot.
Oh yeah, Back to the Future, Pee-wee, Police
Goonies.
Academy, European Vacation.
Yep. Fletch. I saw Fletch at a sleepover.
Dude, I saw Fletch at a sleepover at Barbeau's.
Okay, wow, years and years later.
Yeah.
See, they're evergreens. They can always be sleepover VHSs. And we watched Rocky 4 certainly at a sleepover during laydown day.
Yeah, what was that cabin we went to where we watched all the Rockies?
I don't know. Like, some weird cabin, bro.
Remember Cecil there was a guy that was a leader at our youth group, and he was a vet. I think
You mean a veterinarian or an army vet?
Sorry, an army veteran.
Okay, right.
And I think we went to his cabin or something. I don't know.
Was that Woodbrook Nichols' cabin?
Nope, different cabin.
Okay,
it wasn't,
different cabin.
I think it was like a trailer.
Okay. Well, I can't remember, but I know it was like a trailer. Oh my gosh, I just got a really strong memory of it, but I do not know whose it was. and
A
we just laid down
trailer?
in that dang single wide trailer and watched
Uh-huh.
5 Rocky movies and felt sick afterwards.
Yeah. Terrible.
That we have that same core memory, bro. But yeah, there
Okay,
you go.
good.
There you go. The sleepover, the ultimate sleepover, lay down day. We're watching movies from 1985.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, this is Tim Burton's directorial debut at the age of 26 for a
Wow.
feature-length film. We'll talk about that.
Yep.
Written by his buddy Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
I mean, Paul Rubin's buddy, Phil Hartman. Who makes a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Verhall. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either. Yeah.
Also, the musical score debut of Danny Elfman. I mean, chill bumps.
He takes a break from Oingo Boingo. I am getting chill bumps right now thinking about these 3 guys.
Yes.
That's why I said this is a maniac produced movie.
It's crazy, dude.
Everybody is so weird. That made this movie. And so when you get it,
Yep.
how did this movie get funded?
I know.
And then you watch it and you're like, I'm into it.
Totally.
It's working.
I mean, yeah. Okay. When we get to that evidence, I can't wait to talk about that because of all the just random crap. But 3 debuts. Budget was $6 million. Gross at the box office $41 million. Insane.
Yeah.
That's so great. They thought it wasn't going to make anything.
Of course they did.
Okay,
It's
just
so weird.
a couple little bonuses. 88% critics, 79% audience on Rotten Tomatoes. I thought this would be fun real quick, even though this is a shorter app. I wanted to go over to travel back in time real quick and look at a few things that happened in 1985.
Okay. Can I just say, like a virgin from Madonna, or as I know it, like a surgeon, right? We're
exactly.
another alter ego, Weird Al.
There you go.
Very, I mean, there's just like that group of weirdos that had alter egos that were all kind of killing it in the 80s, and like a surgeon cutting for the very first time.
Yeah, okay. I was also thinking about some comedians. Harland Williams is a little later, inspired by these
very
guys.
Pee-wee. Yep, that guy's very Pee-wee.
And then my favorite from Pertner to Hot to Trot, Bobcat
Goldthwait. I don't think that's his name.
I don't, and that's not his personality. Like,
you're right. That's not his voice.
Thing.
He is in this is the thing that I mean, he's in other movies playing, acting, but that's not him.
Right.
That's so weirard. Like Pee-wee Herman in Bobcat Goldthwait in Ernest.
Right.
And it's
Cheech and Chong in Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Chong.
Right.
What was with that? That's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, core memory, me and Chad were doing the SATs. We didn't register, so we got kicked out 30 minutes in. So then we went to McDonald's, got breakfast, and then went to my house and watched Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. Like, me and Chad, we go to, I think it was West High School.
Oh, yeah.
Went in there.
That's where I took mine.
SATs. It's early in the morning. Yeah. And then everybody's doing their number 2 pencil thing. And about 20, 30 minutes in, they're like, Anthony Georgeson, Chad Kemp, please come forward and put down your pencils. And they're like, you didn't actually register.
This is a nightmare. So the only way to drown your troubles is Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke
with McGriddle. Actually, they didn't have McGriddles.
Yeah, you probably had a Egg McMuffin, sausage and egg and cheese.
Probably sausage and egg and a Coke. And you know how much I studied for that? 0.
It's hard to study for that, but still.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's all for the best.
Yeah, it worked out fine. I was just looking at some things that happened in 1985, dude.
Okay, great.
Phoenix, Arizona had extremely low temperatures, 3 inches of snow.
Wow. Well, there you go.
in Phoenix, Arizona. That one stuck out to me.
Okay.
Steve Jobs resigns as chairman of Apple.
Only to be hired again later,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Right. Later,
Yeah.
though. Like after he goes and does Next and kind of
Oh,
starts
gosh.
Pixar.
Yeah, Next as that thing that he knew wasn't going to work. He just started it because he was mad about Apple.
Yeah. But then Next becomes like OS
All the technology they
7,
use. Yeah.
I
Wow.
think,
That
or
guy.
OS.
Speaking of
Yeah.
maniacs. Okay, so
Yep.
85 was his first departure from Apple before he got.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, a couple other ones. Coca-Cola announces new Coke.
Okay. Yeah, a dark day in history
New Coke would have
your in-laws.
Uh-huh. Smoother, sweeter taste, similar to Diet Coke, but sweetened with corn syrup.
Oh, okay. Which we
Okay.
still use. Weird. Okay, great.
Yep. Blockbuster and partner to Papa John's and Sam Adams are all founded.
Wow. What a difference. Wow, what a difference. Blockbuster Video. Wow. That was
Cosby Show was the most popular TV show.
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale was the best-selling book.
Okay.
And Back to the Future was the highest grossing film.
As covered previously on Perfect Movie.
Yep.
The second movie in 1985, I guess this Pee-wee's would be, that opens with a Rube Goldberg machine.
I know. So I was thinking about that. That I was like, oh, it was a Rube Goldberg machine, Renaissance, or they were copying, but or there was copying, but it must have been some sort of. It's just funny that they did that. They both did that.
Yeah, they were both in production at the same time, and they both have kind of this intricate. I mean, Pee-wee's is much sillier.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. There's also one in Goonies.
Oh, yeah. What?
That relies on a chicken getting scared and laying an egg every time you want it to come into the gate.
The Truffle Shuffle.
Weird. Yeah. 3 1985 movies with a Rube Goldberg in the first third of the movie.
Made for us.
I loved thinking about Rube Goldberg machines.
Me too. We got to do that. We got to do that. The girls, we watch Dude Perfect of like crazy now.
Yeah.
And they do some pretty sweet. I mean, they do some sick ones that are like, they have so much money.
Yeah. Yep.
And also they don't set it up.
Right.
Well,
they have a whole huge production team that does it.
Yeah. They're just so cool.
I have a video of a Rube Goldberg machine that we made during the pandemic that I'll upload for 13.1ers.
Oh, I love it. I think I remember seeing this.
It was really fun.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Oh,
good stuff. And a great pandemic way to kill a day.
Oh yeah. Well, you're stuck inside.
Yep. What else are you going to do?
Yep. I was just going to say also Rookie of the Year in 1985.
Speaking of young Anthony.
Basketball player. Yep. By the name of Michael Jordan.
Uh-huh. Gets hired by Matt Damon.
Yeah, for Air. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Did you see it?
I really want to watch Air. I haven't seen it.
Okay, you are going to love Air. All your favorite guys are in it, and it's about the Air Jordan.
Yes.
Probably your dream shoe. Well, did you want an Air Jordan, or would you have preferred a pump, Reebok pump?
I had
Reebok
both.
pumps. Oh, lucky.
Yep. I had both, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I had friggin' LA Gear, and I got bullied for it. I was going to the bath. Did I tell this story before? I was going to the bathroom at VAMS.
Yep.
Verona Area Middle School.
Yep.
I had my LA Gears on.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a stall.
Yep.
And these two bullies threw wet towels in at me and said, "Nice shoes, geek," and ran out.
Oh man, that sucks.
No, is there anything worse that could happen to you as a new in school to the school 7th grader? I don't know.
The problem is when you're in that position, I mean, not the toilet position, but just in a new student.
Yeah.
There's no win. Because you could get the LA Gear and you're too geeky, but you get the Jordans and
you're trying too hard.
You're a poser.
Yes.
So it's like there is no win, dude.
I don't know. I don't
something
know
you
if it was
have
just
to
a
go through.
90s. Yeah, if it was just a 90s middle school thing, but there was no winning for anyone except for the 1%.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
exactly what you're saying. I cannot, no matter what now, because now if I stop wearing my LA gears
Uh-huh.
and for some miracle I get a pair of Jordans,
Uh-huh.
those same bullies are going to be like, "Ooh, look at him coming in now with his Jordans. Who are you supposed to be?" Like it's a no-win.
There is and you could have told your parents and they would have been like, okay, we'll go get the Jordans.
I think if I told my parents that story, they would have made something happen. But I was like, doesn't matter actually at this point. Now I'm LA gear boy.
Yep. What's up, LA?
Hey, LA gear. Oh, here he comes.
Were those the ones that you could put little triangles into?
No, not the ones I had. That could be. I don't think I had there certainly was a lot of triangle action in the 90s. I had a lot of shirts with triangles on them.
Oh yeah, Umbros. Oh no, that
Umbros
was Rhombus? No.
I don't know.
Remember the Umbro logo? Oh,
yeah, I do. Great logo.
I love that logo. Tuck in the front tuck.
Loose in the back.
Yep. It's the tuckle. You got the tuckle with your drawstring shorts.
Yes, for sure.
And those skinny legs, dude.
Oh man. Yeah. Speaking of skinny legs, we should probably talk more Pee-wee.
Okay. Yep.
Should I read the let me read the back of the box.
Yep.
It's a good one. Well, it's sort of good. Let's see. 4 stars. Should captivate 4-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and anyone else whose heart is beating, says Mike Clark from the USA Today. That's on the top. Okay, here's what it says. Alert the media. Pee-wee Herman's bicycle, the keenest in the world, is missing. It's his most prized possession, and he's got to get it back. So actually, there it is.
That's it.
That's the plot.
Yep.
Search high, low, and in between on Pee-wee's Big Adventure, hitting the open road with the quirky comic to encounter bikers, bums, cowboys, cons, a phantom trucker, and a waitress with wanderlust. His quest leads from the Alamo to Warner Brothers Studios, where security is tight, sound stages are busy, and Pee-wee's spiffy bike is in the hands of a spoiled brat child star. Who's played by who? How do I recognize that kid?
The older brother in Wonder Years.
Right. That's it. Wonder Years' older brother. Speaking of bullies, that guy was mean to Kevin.
So mean.
So mean.
What was with bullies in the 80s and 90s?
I don't know, but they were mean, including this guy. He also plays a bully, kind of a bully kid, bratty kid in this movie too.
He does.
Okay.
To the nun, mom.
In his feature film debut, the manic bow-tied Peter Pan, who wowed audiences in his stage and TV appearances. It doesn't say this, but primarily on Letterman, I think.
Oh yeah,
Letterman freaking loved him. Us too. Yeah. Captured new legions of fans and earned himself comparison with the all-time greats of movie comedy. So get hip, dude. Get hip, dude. Join Pee-wee's Big Adventure for offbeat, upbeat fun. Okay, I kind of like that. They got me there at the end. Offbeat, upbeat. That's okay. Rated PG. In color. I'm not getting a time on this. How long is it?
Oh, I forgot to write that down. I think it was 1:31.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a time on this back of this box. But it's not long, and that's perfect. It's whatever length it is, it's the right length, and it is short. I mean, it's one of those things where you're watching it at, like you say, at night, and you're like, hallelujah.
Yep,
it's probably 90 minutes long.
Short and sweet. Yeah, I think the Big Top Pee-wee is 126.
Yeah, and it's probably quite padded in the middle.
That's why I said you can watch both of these in less time than Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Less boobs too. Okay, here let's head into the.
Actually, there's some risque scenes in Big Top Pee-wee. Some
are they
serious makeout scenes?
Oh, it's quite randy. I think I remember that. This one, there's nothing like that. I mean, even okay, we'll get there. Let's head into the trial.
All right, let's do it.
Sweet.
Great.
Can we? We don't need to clap. Never mind.
Yeah.
Or should we?
Well, let's clap so that you'll know where to put the trailer.
Great.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. You got to say all rise.
All rise.
Hey, how's it going over there? La, 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 la. How's it going?
Oh, Dr. Knudsen does a great Pee-wee.
La, 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 la.
It's that range.
Ooh, bubbly.
You know who else has that range? Is now I'm not going to remember his name. The Martin Short character who you thought was so stupid, and then you watch some. It's when
Clifford?
Jiminy Glick. Actually,
Jiminy.
remember Jiminy Glick? He also has that.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
When you married to Julia Louis Dreyfus? When you married Richard Dreyfus? What was that about?
That is so good. Now, Clifford, on the other hand,
Yeah.
the movie that has Martin Short playing a child, not a childlike person like Pee-wee is,
Right.
but an actual 9-year-old, which is a pretty funny gimmick. And there are some
Right.
amazing scenes in that movie, but overall it does not work. Okay, I'm gonna chunk in, but after the rules.
Okay.
Okay, so
I got the sound ready for the rules.
great. The rules are we pick a movie we love. I love this movie. Anthony, you love it? Like it? Love it?
I
How you
love
feel?
it.
I love it too. And we try to prove to each other and to you that it is not only good, but it's perfect. We get exhibits to present as we try to attempt to prove to you, the listener, and to one another that the movie is indeed perfect. When we're done, I get a full vote, Anthony gets a full vote, and the listenership gets a collective full vote. If you all vote 75% or more yes, we send it up to Gunn, who will not know what to do with this movie, but somehow it will convert him into a fine gentleman after watching this movie. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I have some things. I have a list of things I want to talk about. The good thing about this movie is that the plot is so simple, like you said. It's a guy, albeit a very strange guy, who loses something that he loves and goes on a epic journey to find it.
Yep. Road trip movie.
Great road trip movie. Yep.
Weird world.
Yep.
Insane. But simplest plot possible. I lost my thing. Where's my friggin' t-shirt and my Milka? You know, I mean, like,
right. Where's the Lost Ark? I've got to go find it.
Yep. I mean, it's like where, you know, the opening scene is a dream about it. He set it up. He's got this special code to get to it, and then the reveal of the bike, and then he loses it. And yep, it's simple as possible. I was reading, and I was actually wondering if this was in any of your screenwriting classes, because I was reading in like those mental floss things about how it's a perfect 3-act structure, 30 pages each, 90 pages.
What I read was that so Paul Rubens had never written a movie. Of course, he had come up from the Groundlings, which is where he met Phil Hartman, and Jan Hooks, who plays the tour guide, who is so funny in this movie. And all those kind of folks that went into Saturday Night Live, but he didn't get it. Like I think he tried out and didn't get into Saturday Night Live or something.
Yeah. I was reading that they basically promised it to him, and that the writers were like, come, like buy a place or get a place, get an apartment. Let's go. You're it.
Right.
And who was it that got
sucks. Well, I mean, that was I know Eddie Murphy was that year that he would have been, and like, but I don't know what the Paul Rubens.
It was Gilbert Gottfried.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That if you have a Gilbert Gottfried, you don't necessarily need a Paul Rubens.
What would SNL? Okay, so let's this is one of those forks in the road of media. Yeah. Paul Rubens gets SNL. Might have killed it. Might have just done a couple things. Who knows?
But he probably would not have made Pee-wee.
He wouldn't have made Pee-wee. There would be no Batman, Tim Burton, Batman, Michael Keaton. So Michael Keaton's career is Stepmom and who knows what else.
Right. There's no mostly Beetlejuice, playing no dads. Yeah.
And he
Yep.
rocks. Love him. But
Yeah, definitely.
that sets superhero movies in a completely different direction.
Yep.
It sets Tim Burton's career in a completely insane, incredible direction.
Mm-hmm.
All because Paul Rubens didn't get hired for SNL.
Yeah. We're lucky. Now, would we have had The Flash this past summer? Maybe he should have gotten Saturday Night Live. I don't know. But anyways,
So the end, all by the end, you're like, okay, well, we got all, would you
Yeah.
have Endgame if Paul Rubens got
yeah,
SNL?
that's a great question. I don't know. It would have changed the landscape if Pee-wee was not made, because of launching these maniacs into the forefront of moviedom. So he's just kind of, he has this character, but it doesn't work on Saturday Night Live, even though Letterman loves him and keeps having him back. He has this really popular Broadway show, which you can find on YouTube, and that he
Ooh.
redid for HBO, that
Okay.
I have illegally on my computer. But it's really incredibly funny. And it's kind of like this, is it for kids? The gimmick kind of is like, it's a kid show, but it's not for kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's always like, I feel like I remember, I haven't watched that in forever, but I feel like I always remember there being little double entendres,
Yep.
little pervy, quirky kind of things
Mm-hmm.
that you'd wink wink at the parents because they think it's freaking hilarious.
Right.
And I think that's why a lot of people didn't want their kids to watch it, just because it's like, even though it's going over the heads of kids,
Mm-hmm.
it's like under the surface, it's like, dudes, this is maybe a little creepy.
Yeah. Well, so
Or maybe
I
not
think
creepy. He was not creepy.
when he was when it was a stage show for grown-ups,
Okay.
you would not have wanted to bring your kids to it,
Definitely
because
not.
it was a
I
little
would
bit,
assume.
it wasn't double entendres, it was single entendres, right?
Okay.
I mean,
It's raunchy.
but when he got Playhouse, then it was, he knew he was on Saturday morning, but he got it after he blew up with Big Adventure. But
Okay.
they did say you need to tone it down a little bit, and he did. And so
Okay.
I kind of watched, I can't separate the two. Like, I was introduced to Pee-wee in both forms, Pee-wee's Playhouse and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Okay.
I watched it on Saturday mornings. And so here's my thing. I think it was my first act of rebellion,
Oh, okay.
because, and I don't know where this fits in the evidence or not, but I liked it because he wasn't mean.
Definitely not mean. Although meaner than I remembered.
He has a little bit of evil in him. He's kind
Yeah, I mean-
he's kind of naughty.
He's naughty, and I mean, like, that's so prudish to say. But like, I mean, but even in Big Top Pee-wee,
Yeah.
which I don't know if that's canon. I feel like
I don't, yeah. This is
this
canon.
just is. I'm just
Yep.
saying, like, you gotta watch it because like he just like budges these two old ladies to get lunch.
Oh
he's like-
man, that sounds too
like-
mean.
I know, he's like, I'm starving. Like
He is not that. He's certainly not that in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
okay, yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, yeah. See, he's not very generous.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? He's not.
Yes.
He's funny, but he's like, why aren't you paying attention to me? You know, like
Right in the basement.
yeah, like
Um,
I don't need anybody else's help. Like he has inner rage, I think.
Yeah. So there's probably a lot wrapped up into this, but my parents didn't like Pee-wee. Now, this is all my memory. So mom and dad, if you're listening to this, but also, and you know this about my family,
Yep.
silliness and kind of misbehavior
Yeah,
was not smiled upon when I
sure.
was growing up. We had
Sure.
high, or my parents did at least, had high value on manners,
Sure. Oh yeah.
being proper, the whole Mr. Grauman and Mrs. Grauman thing. Like, it was,
Yep.
how there was a way that they wanted us kids to act, and it was very kind of proper and manners driven. I don't think that's
Yep.
wrong to say, and that's not bad. It's just like how we were
No,
raised.
they
Now,
were more serious.
and they were serious. You're right.
Yep.
And so Pee-wee is silly. He does not have very good manners.
Terrible. Yeah, terrible.
Terrible manners. Kind of treats everybody in a certain way.
Yeah.
Not mean, I don't think. Just like not doesn't have much reverence for other people.
Not much care for other people.
Right? It's a pretty selfish
Right.
guy.
I think he's pretty egotistical, pretty myopic.
I
like,
think you're
Where's
right.
my bike? I want my bike.
You know?
And so I remember feeling as a kid, I'm watching Pee-wee's Playhouse on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
And if my parents knew I was, I'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
Yeah,
like this.
Keep this thing turned down.
And there
It's-
was a bit of a thrill attached to that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
like our kids now, they have to be careful. I'm sure other parents could relate to this. Like, you gotta mute the TV. Like, make sure Sonos isn't on 6 or 7, the volume
Yeah.
setting, when
Right.
you open Netflix, because it's like, "Ba-bow." and
Yeah.
you're like, you're a parent in
Ka-thunk.
the other room, and you're like, I said screen time is not happening right now. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so I can totally relate to that on the opposite end, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and I was a spaz kid, dude.
Mm.
I've watched videos of me at 8. I'm like, la,
Mhm.
la, la, la. And like, I can say as a dad now, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff does get under my skin a little bit.
Sure. Yeah,
I hate-
definitely.
I hate that does,
Uh-huh.
but like, dude, I would have annoyed me.
Yeah,
as a
sure.
dad.
Yep. I mean, that's very self-aware of you. It's there. I get. So I want to say I get it. That my parents would have
Totally.
preferred that I not act like Pee Wee Herman all the time.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So I get that, but there was this thing where you're watching this. It's kind of my first act of like subversion,
Sure.
where I was like, okay, one of my favorite Pee Wee's Playhouse episodes ever is where he says he loves fruit salad, and I think Cherry says, "Why don't you marry it?" And he says, "Okay, then I will." And then the last scene is a full-on wedding ceremony where he marries this bowl of fruit salad in a veil.
Yeah.
The fruit salad is in a veil.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope my parents don't walk in right now.
Totally.
The first memory I have of, oh boy, I hope my parents don't walk in on this. But there was no like hidden message to that. It was just Pee-wee being silly.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was
Right.
just not something I think my parents were interested in me engaging in. It's so funny, bro.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
Mhm.
No, you're right. Cause I remember he had a thing where he was like, get out all your pots and pans and you're gonna bang on them. You know?
Yeah.
Do you remember this, like, make noise? And so like he's like,
Lots of that kind of stuff. Yep.
and so I was like, I told my dad about that, and he's like, you should do it. But I was always
Wow.
too nervous to do it.
Well, that's what a supportive dad.
He was like, go. I was like, Dad, I always thought it'd be funny because like they do this scene where he takes out all the pots and pans and makes
Mhm.
noise
Yeah.
and bangs on it, and he's like, you should do it. Go for it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I was always
That was too far.
too far. Like when they're sleeping, because my memory is Saturday mornings. My parents slept until like, I
Sure.
don't know, 10. It was probably like 8 or
Mhm.
noon. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Were you a Saturday morning cartoon watcher?
I mean, all I would dream of is that somehow I would find on Saturday morning monster trucks were on.
Oh, right.
That
Yep.
would
You were
never-
you were a huge Monster Trucks fan.
Oh, I just dreamed of one day turning on the TV and finding Gravedigger versus Bigfoot.
Well, the dreams of a young boy.
Yep. But
Now, I
it
was a
almost never
big-
happened.
I was a big Saturday morning serial and cartoons guy.
Yeah.
And so
definitely.
the other thing about Pee-wee is that I recognized at a very young age, this is good and everything
Mm.
else sucks,
Mm,
which
yeah.
is very true. All those cartoons were so cheaply made, no plots, no effort. And then this kind of masterpiece comes on for 22 minutes
Yeah.
where care has been put into it. There's writing, there's something for older kids and grown-ups. There's the animation is really cool. It
Yep.
does a lot of stop motion stuff. And so there was this thrill of I'm doing something that maybe is a little bit, I'm being a bad boy,
You're being a
but also
you're a rebel, Dottie.
I'm a
I'm a
loner,
loner,
Dottie.
daddy, a
I'm a
rebel.
rebel. But also like, oh, but this is good. This is like quality TV compared to what I've been watching for the past 3 hours. And so what do I do with that?
Well, dude, I mean, just think about it for a second. You've got like a basically an SNL
Mm-hmm.
headlining character that had a major blockbuster hit,
Yep.
and he's writing shows for us as kids.
Yep.
You know, I mean, with dang it, I can't think of his name. Morpheus.
Yeah. Larry
Uh,
Fishburne
Larry Fishburne. You know,
as Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, we've got Sherry. We've got
All those and is that what it is? Anapomorphic? Am I saying that right? All the stuff. I mean,
animatronics?
this is right up your alley, Anthony. Everything in his house was alive and he had feelings, right? Like
I
you care about your microphone as a person.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Where things are alive, you're totally
Yeah.
right. I think I was always slightly weirded out by things like you know, Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza and stuff that wasn't real.
Sure. Animatronics. Yeah, animatronic
Yeah, I
stuff
was always
is kind of creepy.
and like also dark, creepy stuff I
Mm.
actually didn't like
Yeah.
that much. So like for example, Partner to Large Marge, like
Scary.
core memory of scariest thing I've ever seen is
Yeah.
Large Marge when she shows her face and you
Mhm.
get your first Tim Burton like weird looking
Yeah, that is
thing.
kind of the first like you can see Tim Burton drawing that, right? And
Yeah.
saying, I want it to look like that. Let's stop motion animate it.
Yeah.
I guess the clown scene is also like that. Like the clown scene where he loses the bike is scary. That clown is
I was a little scared of that. Yep.
Yep.
You've got
And-
the Bernard Herrmann score there that he's quoting
Mhm.
from well,
That
no, it's
thing.
Psycho.
Right, from Psycho. Yeah. Yep.
But then yeah, you're right. But then yeah, that too.
Mhm. Yeah. So his dream sequences are scary in the hospital, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
those are scary too. The big dinosaur that comes out and eats his bike.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
Totally.
But and so there's something about, and always has been, I think, about Paul Rubens where he is kind of dark and injects it into his stuff. Now,
Yep.
I have some evidence I want to share, which I
Okay,
think,
yeah, let's bust into that.
and it's a scene at the very beginning of the movie that I've always loved, and that I heard also one of Paul Rubens' best friends, his name's Paul Rust. He co-wrote Big Holiday with him, Pee-wee's Big Holiday with him. I was listening to him on a podcast, and he said exactly. So I just want to say, if you ever listen to this other podcast, be like, Steven stole it, but I didn't quite, because I've always felt this. At the beginning of the movie, he talks to his neighbor, and he's like, I'm gonna put the sprinkler on.
Uh-huh.
And I think in any other, and probably in every other movie about a weirdo up to that point, the neighbor would have been mad at him, and everybody would have been like, we don't like this guy, he's too weird.
Mm-hmm.
But instead the neighbor's like, okay, and
Here
kind of
he
has a
goes
smile
again.
on his face. Here he goes again.
Totally. Yeah.
Smiles. And for the rest of the movie, everyone except for Bullies likes Pee-wee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so instead of a movie about a weirdo where everybody's like, get a load of this guy, who's this moron?
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of into Pee-wee.
Yeah, everybody likes him. He's this really, like Dottie, this really cute girl, thinks like he the world of him, right? Like, remember when you
And
were
no one will be surprised
6 or
that
7
I
or 8 or 9 or
that I
10,
had
you'd
a
be
big crush on Dottie.
yeah, dude. It's like Dottie likes Pee-wee.
Right. And so if Dottie likes Pee-wee,
Yeah, maybe there's a chance for us.
and so all the kind of despicable people like Francis, who I mean, I wonder if in the result show we could maybe even break apart that scene. We could watch it together. Kind of
Yeah,
Pee-wee versus Francis, that 2 minutes of like these juggernauts battling it out with their words.
so genius. Which, oh yeah, I love that. I forgot about that. Like, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know
Yep.
you are. Yeah, okay, so that's a other cast choice. They actually
Mhm.
wanted Corey Feldman for that.
For Francis?
Uh-huh. That's
Wow.
that's what I heard.
Dang.
And he was doing Goonies.
But Francis is an old guy. Are you sure
Right,
they didn't
so
want
that-
Corey Feldman for the bike kid? That would make sense to me.
Nope. I'm pretty sure it was Francis Buxton, dude.
So originally he was pitted against an actual child.
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's kind
sure.
of funny. Yeah.
Yeah. But a man-child's funnier, though.
I think Francis is funnier.
This guy was what was his name? Mark Holton. He's been in other things,
Okay.
but he's like when they chew the gum. Him and his dad, genius.
But even his
Oh.
dad likes Pee-wee. You know what I mean?
I
Like, I
know.
think his dad likes Pee-wee. The only people that don't like Pee-wee are Francis, who you're
Mhm.
not supposed to like Francis.
Mm-hmm.
The Simone's boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
comes after him with that bone.
Yep. Everyone I know has a big butt. Let's talk
That's
about your big butt. What a great line.
and yeah, and her boyfriend steps in right when he's saying that.
I mean, dude, like that is a genius. That could have been for Runner's Block. Like we
Yeah,
all
big
have a big
butts.
butt,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's
good.
but we got to talk about our big butt.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
butt, B-U-T, 1 T.
Right. And that's
Everybody-
how Pee-wee means
anybody's
it, but
confused.
that's not how the bully hears it, and he comes
Oh,
after him
no.
with a big bone.
Uh-huh.
And then he gets laughed at the Alamo. That's kind of sad.
Oh, core sadness memory. Yep.
Yeah.
Being laughed at.
Being laughed at. It's like LA Gear all over again because
Yep.
there's no basement at the Alamo. People do laugh at him there. But I would say everyone in this movie, except for bad guys, either like Pee-wee coming in or are converted to loving him in minutes from
Uh-huh.
meeting him.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the secret sauce of this movie, is that Pee-wee is kind of universally adored by everyone he meets. And so you are
Yeah.
brought into that as the audience.
Yep, he's not mocked but adored. Like he's a regular at these stores,
Mm-hmm.
like the magic shop.
Yep.
Like you said with the guy next door.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of play with that in Big Top Pee-wee because
Oh, really? Not everybody likes him as
townspeople-
much.
Yeah, no, they're like,
So
little-
then maybe I'll have to watch Big Top Pee-wee because just hearing you talk about it sounds like the things that really work for me in Big Adventure, he changes and then they don't work in Big Top Pee-wee.
yeah.
Like you have to be on his side.
It's not nearly as good.
Yeah,
It is worth I think it's worth a rewatch at this
Okay.
point in your life though, dude.
definitely. And I did like Big Holiday. Did you see the
I
sequel?
didn't
on
actually I
Netflix?
didn't see it. No.
That is much more Big Adventure.
Okay.
And really funny and has a lot of funny famous people in it. So I think his kind of likability that everybody likes him, that's different than Clifford because everybody hates Clifford except for Mary Steenburgen.
Okay.
And like Problem Child, that kind of thing, like
Yeah, Problem Child. Oh,
these even like Dennis the Menace, like these movies about kids. Well, but then I don't know quite what to do with Home Alone then, because everybody hates Kevin, but you still like him.
Yep, maybe that's their secret sauce is like everybody hated him but we loved him.
That's more of a redemption. He has to go through
Mhm.
the arc that you're kind of rooting for Kevin to become better.
Mm-hmm.
Clifford never does. Problem Child never gets better, and Pee-wee is kind of just Pee-wee through the movie, but he surrounds himself with people that like him, and so that really works.
Yep. Okay, here I have an example of that. I'm gonna chunk in here.
Great.
You might need to add this later because you won't hear
Okay.
it.
That's fine.
Okay. I was just gonna say my first piece of evidence for this movie is that it exists at all. Like that
As we've been talking about, you mean all the amazing ways that it came to existence at all?
Yeah, like how so so the thing that triggered it for me as I was rewatching it was the biker bar scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly what you're saying. They were like going to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
They were going to kill him, and then something so I mean it's almost death scene from Toy Story 3, dude. He is dead.
And you are tracking with how this is supposed to happen, right? Like
Right.
he yells at them because they're being too loud. Then they kind of shove him out, and he does this little like dance and knocks
Yep.
over all their motorcycles.
Yep.
And then they're threatening him to
Mhm.
kill him in all these sorts of ways. He's supposed to be dead, and you're tracking with this is how movies work up to this point.
Right. As a kid too, you're like, how on earth is he going to get out of this? Like
Right.
that would be the
big
cliffhanger
question.
at the end of like Batman. Like, will he get out? What's going to happen? You know?
Right.
So, you know, Pee-wee's got himself into a big scrape.
Surely.
Uh-huh. And what happens? He goes over to the jukebox, plays tequila, grabs the high-heeled boots from the waiter dude.
the short guy with the mop.
The short guy with the mop, Stanley Spadowski, and gets up and does this stupid dance. And then
There's really nothing to that dance, right? Except for he's pointing at his crotch and pointing at his butt
yep.
while he's shuffling around.
Yep. And break dance. Right? So like he just starts breaking stuff and they're like, yeah, Pee-wee, woo.
Yeah, you kind of watch the crowd shift. This conversion happens, right? That they are going to kill Pee-wee.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of they realize who this guy is, and then they are completely on his side. Like they give him a motorcycle.
Which I think that might have been my biggest laugh, dude, yesterday or this whole week when I've been rewatching this, is that he drives the motorcycle and immediately like just crashes it. Dude, I laughed out
loud. I know.
Like, hard.
That
dude.
Is a laugh. That is a LLOL.
Yes. Yep.
Because it is just the icing. Because you're kind of stunned by that scene, like you're saying. Like, why does this work?
Yeah. Well, I was like, how does this exist?
Yeah.
Those shoes are so dumb. This conversion is so dumb.
Yep.
But it's so funny and it totally works.
And then the button is he runs into that billboard and just flops over it. And it's
like,
silent.
So like when he starts it, it's hilarious. He's like, oh yeah. Like I love it when he's a little manly. Which actually looked like I watched the trailer for the Netflix one. And it looked like they played that up. He's got that hunky guy.
Yep.
And he's like kind of inspired or intrigued by that.
Yes. Yeah. He becomes best friends with Joe Maniglia, this really hunky guy from, and so it's got the sweetness of Big Adventure in it again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's completely missing in Big Top Pee-wee.
Okay.
But there are some laugh lines and worth watching again.
Okay.
I mean, I hadn't watched it since I was like 10.
I mean, when he's on that bike, you kind of get a little bit of fish out of water. That's the closest you get to it. But then he's not who he is in that moment. And it lasts 2 seconds because he crashes and has to go to the hospital.
Yeah. So it's so insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I cannot believe this is on TV right now. Like this made it.
Mhm.
So that actually, I'm just gonna tag on because I have 4 pieces of evidence,
Okay.
and I already shared one earlier. That it's insane that it exists because of a collaboration of 3 people that shouldn't have happened.
Right. Yeah.
So Tim Burton does Weenie. What was it?
Frank and
Frankenweenie.
Weenie. Yep. Frank and Weenie.
And Paul Rubens sees that, is like, that's the guy to do our movie.
Yep.
And from what I gathered in my research is that Warner Brothers knew how awesome he was, and he kept saying no to stuff because it wasn't good enough.
Tim Burton.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
They were like, he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I
Mhm.
don't want to do that. And so they were like, sure, you can ask him to Paul Rubens. They're like, sure, you
Yeah.
can ask him. And somehow Tim Burton was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then Tim Burton's was at a Oingo Boingo concert
Right.
and was like, this guy needs to do the score to this movie.
Yeah. That
And
is
so
nuts.
he asked Danny Elfman to do the score.
Uh-huh.
Danny Elfman, actually, I think I saw a quote. I think I screenshotted it because he was like, no way. Like, how could I've never done a score. This is what
How
he
could
said.
I do a movie score? Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So here's from Danny Elfman. He said, when I met him, it was like, why me? So this is Danny Elfman talking about
Yeah.
Tim Burton. Why would you want me to do a score? That's crazy. Tim was like, I don't know. Oh wait, shoot! I cut the rest of it off. Dang it!
No.
What a
Is it
horrible
behind
way
a
to-
paywall?
Tim was like, I don't know, dude. How did that? Oh no, here it is. Sorry, you're gonna need to edit right
I'll
there.
edit
I'm
this,
so
yeah.
sorry. One edit
No problem.
so far. Pee-wee's Playhouse. Oh frick! You know what happens when you like try to find a
Yes.
movie quote? You
Yep.
know well. Anyways, here, I'll just come in right there.
Okay.
He was like, I don't know. Just do it. So I guess he sent him a demo
Uh-huh.
and he was like, yep, that works. Let's go.
Okay.
And so Danny Elfman has no formal musical training from what I
Yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
but he knows what Pee-wee sounds like. Not his laugh, not his...
That's good.
When you freaking hear bah, 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 ra-ta-ta-ta-tee,
Yep.
that's like the leitmotif of Pee-wee's brain.
It's not it's not sweet.
No, it's funny.
He
It's
knows who he
dark,
is underneath. It's manic. It's like
yeah.
Jarring.
Yup. Angular. It's kind of got it has circus elements. I feel like
There we
that's
go.
why
Yep.
Big Top Pee-wee, at least as a concept, made total sense because he loves animals and he loves kind of chaotic hilarity, and so
And he's a
like,
very physical performer, right? He's not clownish, but I guess probably some people think that about him. And there are certainly clowns in this movie, but I know what you mean. Like he would fit as a circus performer.
Yep. So he just Danny Elfman. We wouldn't have we wouldn't have Batman like we already said, but I mean Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right. Yep. Huge.
Is Elfman Burton.
Yep. Now Burton didn't direct that, but he produced it and brought Elfman on. So and Paul Rubens is in it.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the kids, or maybe 2 of the kids. I think he's one of the kids.
Oh yeah.
In that movie.
Oh.
With Catherine O'Hara, speaking of Home Alone. So like I mean, perfectly cast, right? Like it's so the thing that my mind keeps going to when you're talking about this is that this movie was built by 3 kindred spirits.
Yes.
They're very
Their
similar.
aesthetic all
Yes.
came together.
Yep.
You know, it's not like you wouldn't bring J-Dubs into this. You wouldn't
No.
bring Hans Zimmer into this, even though he
Mm-mm.
was writing then. You wouldn't bring James Horner. You
And you
wouldn't
wouldn't
bring
have
Jerry
Spielberg direct,
Goldsmith. Yeah, you would
right?
not have Spielberg do this.
This is almost like
Totally.
Tim Burton's kind of like the anti. No, he's not. They both are fanciful, but
Yeah.
Tim Burton has like no schmaltz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
maybe, well, but he didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas, so that is probably a very kind of treacly movie where there's a message. But if you think about like Mars Attacks or Beetlejuice or even like Batman Returns, like
Uh-huh.
there's never a lesson to be
No,
learned
there's
by any of these.
yeah, there's no dude, there's like okay, it's like there's no cushy couches and
Mm-mm.
like nice kitchens. Everything's kind of weird. There's
Yep.
no sentimentality and nostalgia.
Mm-mm.
Like all the things that we love about like the rich score of Home Alone, for example,
Right.
or like the kitchens of whoever did Father of the Bride, that woman.
Sure, right. Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy Myers.
Right. Nancy Myers.
No,
Yeah.
like you think about that aesthetic is just purely cozy coastal grandma. Like
Right.
this is like the pure opposite of that, where it's like kind of cold,
Mhm.
kind of weird, kind of like monsterish.
Purposefully unsettling.
Yeah, yeah, you're not yeah, you wouldn't live like if you were at Pee-wee's house, I don't think it's very comfortable.
No, I would not be able to relax at Pee Wee's house.
It's too much going on, but it's
Too much
hilarious to watch.
Even what's his dog's name? Speck. Like even
Spec.
Speck's house, the roof is kind of akimbo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and that is such Tim Burton stuff. Nothing, no straight lines,
Yeah.
no right angles. Everything is, and you see that all over this movie. And
Yeah.
that's just is like the way Elfman writes his scores too, right? And obviously the way that
Exactly.
Pee Wee thinks.
Uh-huh.
Nothing is in a straight line.
It's like holding hands with Edward Scissorhands. Like it
Oh,
would
Edward
hurt.
Scissorhands. Okay, Edward Scissorhands might be his most like this is about something movie.
Man, you know, truth be told, I don't think I've ever watched that.
Okay, I like Edward Scissorhands. It's very weird.
Maybe
You know
I
what?
like soft stuff, even though I like
Yeah.
depressing
Yep.
music. Maybe I like
Mm-hmm.
cozy stuff. Maybe maybe I'm too basic.
No, but what I mean by Spielberg is a cozy director. He welcomes you in, even
Mhm,
to his more difficult movies. There are inroads into it that feel comfortable. And Tim Burton's like, how can I turn that on its head?
Right, like how could I push you away and yet in a beautiful way?
Yeah, I mean, he does Batman Returns, and Batman Returns is a disgusting movie.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Like when Penguin bites the nose of that dude, that is sick. I mean,
Right?
Danny DeVito is sick
He
in
is
that movie.
sick
dude.
in that movie. I mean,
Yep.
Michelle Pfeiffer is purposefully, I think, off-puttingly sexy in that movie, right? And
Uh-huh.
like Gotham looks incredible, but
Uh-huh.
not nice.
Nope.
Paul Rubens also in that movie. He's Penguin's dad at the beginning.
Right. Yep.
So
Also, don't forget about Paul Rubens in Flight of the Navigator, voice of
Max
Max of the
Yep.
vehicle.
Max
spaceship.
does a Pee Wee Herman impression, and it's actually Paul Williams doing that impression of himself.
Yeah. No,
It's
Paul
so
Rubens.
awesome.
Paul Rubens.
Yeah. Yep.
I wish it was Paul Williams.
Oh man, those two. I could see why you
Nice.
confused Paul Williams and Paul Rubens. We're running out of time. The good thing about this movie is that you don't have to talk through the plot because it works like that. There's vignettes. We haven't talked about the bike.
Okay, yeah, let's. I mean, okay, I'll yeah, for the first time ever, I'll have 3 bits of evidence. Okay, perfect MacGuffin. We love our MacGuffins.
Yep.
If I think we talked about this on ET,
Mm-hmm.
but for a kid, a bike is everything. It's your world.
Yeah. Yep.
It's everything, and I get now but then it makes it hilarious because an adult man
Mm-hmm.
usually would have a car be that.
Right.
Like the
Yep.
Mirthmobile in Wayne's World.
Yep.
There are
Yeah.
some Wayne's World vibes in this. I feel like
We
kinda,
mentioned Pee-wee on our Wayne's World episode
we did
when we were
okay.
talking about Wayne and how particular a character he is. We talked about Pee-wee.
Okay,
We
I
talk
forgot
about
about
Pee-wee
that.
all the time on Perfect Movie, including on our Barbieheimer episode.
Yeah.
Um.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, you're right. Wayne. I think the same thing about Bill and Ted. Just particular comedic characters that are so weird, but they work. Owe a lot to
What?
Pee-wee, I think.
Yeah. Yep. So the bike
Mm.
is total evidence for me. In that mental floss thing or whatever it was, 15
Yeah.
facts. They were saying that the movie originally was going to be like a Pollyanna story, a remake of Pollyanna,
Okay. All right. I
uh,
can see that.
which I guess was Paul Rubens' favorite movie.
So
Or
Pollyanna is, do you know who Pollyanna is? Have you seen Pollyanna?
I
So
know what a Pollyanna is.
so Pollyanna is this old Disney movie about Haley Mills. I think it's Haley Mills coming in and changing this grumpy town with her niceness.
Okay. Yep. Totally. There's a little bit of vibe of that.
Yeah, that's why I see
Yep.
that. I see Pee-wee being able to remake Pollyanna,
Yep. So that was the
changing a
original.
grumpy town with how weird he is and positive he is.
Yep. That was an idea.
Okay.
Or that was the original idea.
Okay. Interesting.
And then I think Paul Rubens saw people riding bikes at Warner Brothers and was like, what
Yeah.
if it was about my bike? And so then they're like, okay, well, let's do that. But there is Pollyanna. You're totally right. I mean, like, and that comes up a little bit in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep,
There's some
that's true.
Pollyanna-ness in Tim Burton things, like it wasn't Tim Burton, but like even in not the Jim Carrey Christmas one, the little girl in
Oh,
the Grinch.
in the Grinch, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
that's
kinda like
probably a
that a little bit.
Pollyanna callback. Well, no, Dr. Seuss I think is before that, but
Yeah.
I think that the bar scene that you mentioned is a Pollyanna scene.
Yeah. Okay.
Whole bunch of grumpy Gus's, violent people they want to kill, and
Mhm.
he just by sheer goofiness,
Yeah.
he changes their world. And so even though the movie isn't a direct remake of Pollyanna, I think you can see that a lot. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Hmm.
When you saw this as a kid, did you want his bike?
Did not. So
Okay, interesting.
I thought his bike was stupid. I
Wow.
I loved all the gadgets and bells and whistles on it.
Yeah,
But so I mean, like, my core movie for bikes was Rad.
sure. A
When I was a
dirt
kid.
bike. You were a
Dirt
dirt bike
bikes.
kid.
I
Yep.
was BMX,
Mm-hmm.
dirt bike, Hell Track, Lori Laughlin and Bart, whatever his name was, and the other dude in Rad. I wanted to be able to do 360s and wheelies,
Yeah.
and
Off
so
of
I
like
thought,
dirt mounds,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
totally do half pipes and stuff like that. So like that was my
Uh-huh.
biking thing.
Yeah.
But I loved how much he loved it. But they have total callbacks or calls to BMX people in this.
Oh yeah.
though.
There are other
There's a whole
bikers in
crew.
this. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So the love for
Yeah.
bikes, and then totally all in it. All in.
But it's kind of a heavy bike. You can tell that every time he gets going,
yeah.
he has to really make an effort to get that thing to move. But I think you just said something that I think it might be my other evidence. Why don't I just do that? Because I
Okay.
think you said it and I didn't even know how to say it. You like that he likes it.
Mm,
So
totally. Yep.
you're again, this is maybe the same evidence as before, but you're so on Pee-wee's side that you do look at the bike and you're like, it's almost, is it supposed to be a joke? When the
Yeah.
bike is revealed, you're like, what?
You're like, ugh, a little bit.
But there's this scene right before the Francis scene when Francis like also wants his bike. Everybody wants his bike,
Yeah.
where he's cleaning it and he's
Mhm.
buffing it and shining it and caressing it. And
Yeah.
you're like, you like the bike because he likes the bike.
Yeah.
And it's really well done. He has it, like you said, he has that keypad. It's
Mhm.
locked in behind a bush. And there's one beam of light constantly hitting it in that
Yeah.
closet or whatever you get, the safe that he gets it
Yeah.
out of. And so it's just like the MacGuffin of it is it's not the Lost Ark, it's not the Holy Grail, but it's the Holy Grail of Pee-wee's universe.
Yep. Yeah, they set it up so perfectly with the dream at the beginning,
Yep.
with him opening with the safe, and then what
Mhm.
does he say? He's like hello, love.
He
Yeah,
he
like
greets it in some really
yeah,
intimate way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like it's his best friend.
Yep.
He is a loner though, right? He is a loner, Dottie, a rebel.
And he kind of likes
Like
that. He isn't that he's definitely not interested in romance in this movie.
right.
He's kind of like grossed out at the thought of Dottie and him kissing or going on a date.
Yep.
Simone is there's nothing between them romantically.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really, you're right, he is a loner except for his bike. He loves that
Yep.
friggin' bike.
Yep. Is it a love story? A
Sort
love story
of.
between a man and his bike.
It sort of is. It's the fruit salad thing again.
Yeah. I mean, I love it when you see the bike a few times and he can't see it.
Great stuff. Well, it's on the truck and it goes in the
Yeah.
opposite way on the fork in the road. Yeah, that's good
Yep.
stuff.
So good.
And then there's this long third act. So in a script, you lose the thing that you love. In a movie like this, you lose the thing that you love at the end of the first act. You find it at the beginning of the third act, and then it's just all kind of climax and then resolution. And so
Yeah.
he finally gets the bike back, and he's riding it through the Warner Brothers studios, through all those different movies.
Brilliant. Laugh
He
riot,
starts
dude.
dragging Santa's sleigh with Godzilla in it.
Uh-huh. And like I love how these motorbikes are chasing him, and it like he's got the little James Bond thing going on.
Oh yeah, this is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 stuff going on here.
Right. Yep.
And then he saves the pets from a burning building for some reason. Makes no
Yep.
sense, but I think they just had to put something else in to get it to the 90 mark. And
Yeah.
then what's this thing happens at the end? They go to the drive-through and everybody's there from the whole movie again.
The whole crew is there. They go to the drive-in. He greets everybody. He tries to give oh shoot, what's the
Mickey?
dude's name? Mickey. Judd Omen.
Yep.
Tries to give him a foot long
With a file in it.
File chainsaw somewhere or other.
Because for some reason they've brought him to the drive-in in a prison trailer. All the hobos that he met are there. Simone and her new French boyfriend back from Paris.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. And then of course the Warner Brothers execs, instead of getting him in trouble, make a movie about him starring, I can't remember the famous people that are in it.
Brolin.
Oh,
James Brolin. Is that any relation to Josh Brolin?
Is that Thanos' dad here at the end of Pee-wee's Playhouse? I don't know. It's both Brolin.
Is
I hope
that
so. And then and
Yeah.
who's the lady who I also had a crush on?
I don't know. I know that was the same thing. You were like, ooh la la.
Yeah,
when you were,
this
like,
is
a little kid.
now this is Dottie. The problem is I don't think those two get credited. See, they're not even on IMDb.
Yeah, you're right. James Brolin, it was the guy's name.
Right. And is he
here he
Thanos'
is.
dad?
He was in Traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, father of actor Josh Brolin.
There we go. Who was in Goonies at this same time.
That is crazy. So you've got like that's like these 80s connections, dude.
Yeah.
That I was longing for when we started this podcast, is that we were going to start seeing threads and dots connecting. So
Wow.
there's a Corey Feldman connection here,
Uh-huh.
and now there's a Brolin connection between two of our childhood favorite movies, and the fact that Goonies, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and Back to the Future all came out in the same exact year.
Wow.
Too. It's like this is Truman Show. It's like, was all of this just about us?
Yep.
That is
Morgan
so-
Fairchild played Dottie at the end
Morgan
in the Pee-wee movie. And then I
Okay.
also love how Pee-wee is in it. He gets a part in that
Oh
movie.
my gosh.
And he's such a terrible actor, and he's mouthing their lines along with them.
totally.
It is, and then they bike by the screen. I
Oh,
lived
yeah.
it, Dottie. He doesn't have
Yeah,
to see the end of
I
it
don't
because
need
he
to watch
lived it.
What a perfect edit. What a perfect edit, dude. How can we end, like, they're like, well, shoot, now we have a movie in a movie.
Yeah.
How do we end it?
Mm-hmm.
Just tell him I don't need to see the end. Boom. Brilliant.
So good. Guess what,
Brilliant.
nation? It's a perfect movie, and we want to know if you think so too. And so the best way to do that is follow us on Instagram, because our social media guru Annie will put a poll up about whether or not you think Pee-wee's Big Adventure is a perfect movie. Just some quick thanks here at the end. Webmaster Adam, Jason for our graphics, Davis for our music, and the aforementioned Annie for our social media. Next month is October.
Oh,
And so, of course, you
so
would think,
happy.
yes, it's Halloween month. They're going to do a really scary movie. You know, they haven't done The Thing. They haven't done Halloween. They haven't done all these other perfect movies. So this October, October Sky, we're doing.
Oh, I've been saving it. I've been wanting to watch it for the last 2 months. It was even on DVD at Sun River
Oh,
at the
yeah.
house, and I
Yep.
didn't watch it.
Okay. Now, this is
Oh.
this is an straight up Anthony's choice. I've only
Yep.
seen this movie one time in my life.
Yep.
I don't remember anything about it. I think I confuse it with another movie about birds, but I don't think this one's about birds.
Nope, this is about rockets. You're going to see when you watch it why I love it.
This is, and you just named what I'm most excited about because I know it's a canon movie for you.
Yep.
And so knowing that, I can reverse engineer what is it about this movie that Anthony finds so perfect, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Okay, yeah. You're going to I think you're going to really like it, but you're going to be like, I see this.
I
I
can't wait.
see you.
I see you, as the Na'vi say. We all know what the Na'vi say. They say, I see you, about October Sky. All right, dude. Well, I love Pee-wee. I love Paul Rubens. R.I.P. I'm glad we got to do this one.
Yep, me too, man. So fun.
All right, bro. Great ep.
Super fun, man.
And happy watching October Sky.
Nice.
Perfect, bro. Perfect, bro.
Thanks, man. That was really fun.
And ended on time. All right, dude. You got to go.
Yep, got to go pick up the ladies. Thanks so much. You know, sometimes I think we actually do good on a
tighter schedule,
time constraint, because we got. Yep. I mean, I'm looking at my notes. I only missed like 2 things.
I wrote it. I got everything I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
All right. Okay, dude.
Okay, make sure it records, please, Lord.
All right, I'm sure it will. All right, dude.
Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.